on, guys? How y'all doing on this Thursday evening? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I am here live to briefly talk about this week's episode of NXT, the June 22nd. I'm yawning now, great. June 22nd, 2021 edition of NXT that took place at the Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, Florida. I'm still guessing. Who knows? Who the heck knows? I researched the other week. I still don't know. We're going to talk about this episode of NXT as we are now technically less than 2 weeks from NXT's Great American Bash. I believe it takes place on July 7th, what I saw. I'll be real. I kind of went into this, I kind of went into the show with a little bit higher expectations. Again, Samoa Joe's return and the episode we got last week just really fired me up again for NXT. Kind of got my hopes up a little bit. But then we got to this week, kind of died off again. And I don't know, it's because we had some very, generic matches and didn't really, besides Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, and besides announcing that we're going to be getting MSK versus Ciampa and Thatcher also, there really isn't much hype going into Great American Bash. Unless we're doing something with the women's tag titles, we are having a triple threat number one contenders match next week between Io Shirai, Zoe Stark, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, and Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart, and the winner become number one contenders for the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. So maybe we're doing that match, but I don't know. Like, compared to last year's Great American Bash, well, first off, it was a 2-night show last year. This year, it's just a 1-night show, and it just doesn't feel, it really doesn't feel that special. Like, it doesn't feel like they're really, putting an effort into it. Like last year, having the moment. Last year's Great American Bash is me going, I am never going to doubt NXT again. Of course, after that's when NXT began to fall apart more, but last year's Great American Bash was when Keith Lee had the career moment of becoming both the North American and the NXT champion. Which was an awesome moment when he beat Adam Cole at the Great American Bash last year. But this year, doesn't feel that special. So, and also, the other thing, too, that's kind of bugging me, why does it, to me, still feel like that the Capitol Wrestling Center is having piped-in noises? Because of some of the very heavy boos that we're getting, most of the fans I'm still seeing, sitting on their butts in the chairs. So, I really think, in some ways, and not all completely, because there's some moments I know, okay, this is an organic crowd reaction. But there's still a few times where I'm like, okay, the boos are still being kind of heavy. So, I don't know, what it is. Like I said, last week I felt like, NXT was starting to fire back up again. This week I felt it kind of took a step back. As it was mostly a lot of, enhancement, matches just to, kill time, and not much of a build really towards the Great American Bash. Do they not care anymore because, there's no competition since they're not on the same night as Dynamite anymore? Triple H claims there was no war, or is he just literally just saying some weird hokey crap lately? But, I don't know. So, let's talk about this show quickly and just see what happened. First, we have Mark in the live chat. What's up, Mark? Hang in there, man. How about yourself? Wasn't impressed with Diamond Mine. We'll talk about them as well. Vince needs to leave the NXT wrestlers alone because he has stupid ideas for them. Oh, he definitely does for sure. Could we be seeing a Johnny Gargano face turn? Honestly, I kind of hope so. And he was also impressed with Frankie Monet's opponent. So was I, I'll be honest. We'll talk about Frankie herself, of course, when we get there. But, yeah. Let's talk about this and go from there. So we opened up with Adam Cole, baby! Coming out Um, and he says how last week Real decided that he has to fight Kyle O'Reilly at the Great American Bash. Also, Samoa Joe assaulted him last week, and that told him to come out here and handpick his opponent. In his locker room, he decides he's not going to pick my opponent just because Samoa Joe is here. Doesn't mean Adam Cole has to follow the rules. There's a new king on this brand, and you're looking at him, baby. And after he embarrasses Kyle O'Reilly at the Great American Bash, the whole world will have to acknowledge him. Which, of course, is trying to take Roman Reigns to the line, but, it's not Kyle. That's not Adam Cole's line, it's Roman Reigns. But, he's like, consider yourselves lucky to have seen me, but this match ain't happening. And he's interrupted by Carmelo Hayes, who says, you might not know who I am, but I know who you are. And if anyone's going to change your mind, it's going to be me. And Cole's like, oh, is that so? Well, enlighten me, tough guy. How do you plan on changing my mind? And then Hayes says there's a famous phrase, I think it goes something like, ruthless aggression. And he slaps Cole. Basically, just reenacting the John Cena Kurt Angle thing from when John Cena had his debut. Cole and Hayes had a match. It was a good match. It was pretty solid. I felt like it was. I like matches like this where it's like, like a big man, like a big star like Adam Cole, obviously, and then, they use that to kind of like, give someone a rub, give someone attention. Yes, I know, it's stupid to constantly like, kind of recycle storylines and steal like, another moment, but I feel like the way they did it here, having, Carmelo Hayes, impersonate John Cena and have him try to go toe-to-toe with Adam Cole, may have, been the start of something and beginning the building of a new star. Again, we have natural crowd reactions again, so maybe Carmelo Hayes will get over if he gets more more TV time, and doesn't get treated like a jobber. Just give you a start of something good. So I didn't mind that at all. Cole got the win though. No handshakes after the match. Frankie Monet was backstage, so excited with Aaliyah and Jessie Camilla of the Robert Stowe brand. She's trying to change the brand into the Winner's Circle. Once Brand shows up again, she begins singing a different tune. Then we also see Mackenzie Mitchell with Joey Stark, who said Io gave me my big break next week. She wanted to pay her back. But now Io wants to tag with her, and that is a surprise. But Io says, Stark, I respect you, but I don't like you. Zoe says it's all we need. Mutual respect. I don't get this whole thing with why they're having an EO randomly team with Zoe Stark. I mean, it looks like, the way it's building, and of course we're having, EO go over as Candice kind of feud together, even though they've already settled, the boat's already sailed, it feels like, because like I said, I feel like they really had the chance to really capitalize on this feud, and give Candice the women's title off of EO, of course, based off their history this past fall. But they didn't do that, so kind of made me feel like, okay, why are we seeing this again? Like, what's a win now going to really do? So, I don't know if they plan on, which would be for the fourth time already in only just a few months of the champions. I don't know if they're going to put the titles on Io and Zoe, which is stupid. I mean, yeah, putting over Zoe would be good, but Io, just her being a part of this random tag team with Zoe Stark, and then, having that, and then just kind of being like left out of the tag picture just still feels super out of place for her. Like, again, she should be fighting either Frankie Monet or getting that rematch for the NXT Women's Championship, or the big dream match I still have for her and Meiko Satomura. Book it at NXT TakeOver Las Vegas. Book it, damn it, please book it. So yeah. And then we have a segment with LA Knight saying he doesn't need an old man on the gravy train riding his coattails. He then mocks Cameron Grimes for caring about Ted DiBiase than the money. Remember that fall you took at In Your House? It ain't nothing compared to what you'll get when he drops him on his head. And then a woman walks over with a drink and says, whose game is it? I'll drink to that, basically. It's his LA Knight's game, basically. Like I said, I've really liked, how LA Knight's really, starting to find his niche, and this feud with him and Cameron Grimes is really helping the both of them in the long run. We then have Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory come out. They're in street clothes. And Gargano says, it's exciting times. There's new management in town, which means we need a new NXT champion, new face of this brand. We don't need the big, angry, leather face jacket wearing Doomsday guy. We need the handsome, hard-working, headband wearing, respectable family man. We need him. The 57 days he was NXT champion, this place thrived. It was the absolute best NXT has ever been. Paradise, Chef's Kiss, at TakeOver, he proved that Karrion Kross is not on his level. He outclassed him every single time they were in the ring, and everybody knows he can out-wrestle that man on his worst day. Still, of course, Karrion Kross very heelish, which I was just stop it. But then out comes Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan. And Dunne's like, are you mad? This geezer's stupid, you know. You must be mad if you think you're number one contender over him. Shut up. Gargano says, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to provoke me. They're trying to start chaos. You're not provoked. We do not take part in hijinks or shenanigans anymore. We are law-abiding citizens. There are rules for a reason. Peter, if you want to fight, you're not going to get it from us. I'm going to put down the microphone gently now. And Theory says, I'm watching you, and points at Dunne as he's leaving, but then Dunne snaps Austin Theory's finger, and he sells it. Why took a little baby? Like I said, I'm still hoping they just come to their senses, because later on in the show, well, I'll get to that. I'll save that there for a bit. But then we had earlier today with Cameron Grimes checking on Ted DiBiase, aka Grandpa Ted, and Grimes decks him in the face. Then we go to Mackenzie Mitchell interviewing Cole. Regal says, just so we're clear, there's no animosity between you and Joe. You put your hands on him, he clutched you out. It's done. What I suggest is you don't provoke him. But Cole's upset and didn't reprimand him for putting his hands on him. He goes, I don't want to be here anyway. Move. Bye. Which is not the last time we'd see Cole, of course. We all had more of that charging battery hype, where that is. It was up to 31%. I think by the end of the night by 51. So maybe another week or two, we'll see who the heck this person is. The charging battery, I don't know. Zoe Stark and Io Shirai then defeated Aaliyah and Jessie Camille of the Robert Stone brand. Didn't really care. Afterwards, though, Dakota and Raquel arrive and say, if you think you're going to jump the line for number one contender, you're crazy. Those titles are theirs. Out comes Shotzi and Ember, and they say they're at the front of the line, not the back. I think they forgot, Moon. What? I think they should remind them, and by remind them, I mean kick their asses. We get a big brawl in the ring between the three teams, which then leads to Samoa Joe arriving and singles for security, and they take control, and that leads to a number one contenders triple threat match for next week. Cool. That be. We get a video package for the main event match, which is going to be Kushida and Kyle O'Reilly, noting it's tonight's main event. And again, it's just the two of the best that's wanting to go at it, with Kushida and Kyle O'Reilly. Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory had a match with Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan, and The Way won. And of course, also, being back to, piped-in noises, there was definitely no piped-in noises for this match, because what we get in most of the match? A Johnny wrestling chant. Like I said, no one's going to boo him. Turn back and be in the face. Please. Then we have, afterwards, we see Kross take out Gargano, and then we have a stare down with Kross and Dunne. So, I don't know who's next. Could be one of them. Could be Samoa Joe. Who the heck knows? Of course, they gave them heavy, Kross and Scarlett, very heavy boos. And then Kross is backstage there and Samoa Joe to be provoked. Joe says, of course, champ, lets him by with a smirk. But then Dunne's behind him, and the two stare through each other, and at this time, Regal isn't around to tell them to cool their jets. Then we have Frankie Monet versus Elektra Lopez, whatever her name is. First off, Mark is right. This Elektra Lopez woman actually, seemed to have something to her. I was intrigued. But of course, she was actually the victim of the second match done by Frankie Monet in NXT. And as much as, I think Frankie's a star and whatnot, why does it feel like it's taking forever to push her how she should be? I don't know if they're just waiting a little bit longer, for more organic fans or fans to get back into it. I don't know. But I do agree it's kind of taking a little bit too long for them to really get the wheels going with Frankie Monet. If she's supposed to be fighting for the championship by TakeOver Vegas, then they really got to get moving now, or else no one's going to be that invested when the time comes. So that was, a solid encore. Bronson Reed was interviewed and says he doesn't understand Santos Escobar at all, but Hit Row comes out and says everybody's colossal until Colossus walks into the room. Isaiah Swerve Scott promises that Everrise are about to be taught a lesson, and then Top Dollar gets one last part off shot to Bronson Reed saying, "You're not even from North American territory, homie." But Reed says, "Later, Dollar King," and that's what Everrise called him earlier. And Hit Row would then squash Everrise in the next match. We also are told backstage that Mercedes Martinez is a mixed tag match against Xia Li and Boa, and Jake Atlas basically is going to be teaming up with her. So I'm guessing Xia Li Mercedes Martinez is more of a babyface now, or is it just for this feud? Because, again, the freaking dynamics are just all over the place, and nothing makes sense anymore. The main event, though, was Kyle O'Reilly versus Kushida. And there was a solid match. Again, both these guys had more submission-style maneuvers. That was a good match. Kyle O'Reilly won. After the match, though, O'Reilly goes for a handshake, and then Adam Cole arrives, and Cole and O'Reilly begin to brawl. And, of course, security, including Samoa Joe, kind of, get them out of the arena. But after that chaos happens, two men in hoodies begin to attack Kushida. And I'm like, what the heck? And the hoodie comes off for one of them, and it's Roderick Strong. Last time we saw Roderick Strong, he was leaving NXT. Right after the last TakeOver, I believe it was. Or, no, right after WrestleMania season was when it happened. So Roderick Strong being still on Kushida, and but he's there also with Tyler Rust and some other guy who apparently is some guy named Hideki Suzuki, and then it's Malcolm Bivens as their manager, and they're revealed to be the hyped up Diamond Mine. So Roderick Strong is back in NXT, and now he's got his own stable, which is the Diamond Mine. We'll see where that goes. I mean, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's like if you're going to have a feud with Kushida and Roderick Strong for the Cruiserweight titles, it's going to, with, how they kind of missed the chance at really booking, the guy with the Phantasma unique. It's like, that's what this feud's going to feel like, because it's the same kind of, setup and scenario as when Santos Escobar was Cruiserweight champion. But we'll see what happens with Tyler Rust, Roderick Strong, and I guess Hideki Suzuki. Hopefully they don't become the Forgotten Sons or something, but we'll see. I'll talk about it in my turn alert. And that was my NXT review, guys. Gave it a C. Nothing really happened on this show. Marky gave it a C. He's also saying, where is Saray? Yeah, where is Saray? She had like 2 matches, she was gone. No hype at all, unless if Frankie Monet got her way, but whatever. Alright. That's going to do it for this review, guys. Again, I'm going to go do my turn alert next for Roderick Strong and talk a little more about him and Diamond Mine. So, we'll do that in a few minutes. So, guys, once again, what are your thoughts on NXT this weekend? Give it a C. Leave thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at TheManagerBryan3. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll see you all later. Have a great night. Peace out, everybody.